Welcome to my fantasy zone.
Atreyu!
Falcor!
Atreyu!
Falcor!
You know, the dragon loses a bit of its mystique when you can actually see the entire thing.
Also, don't even bother with the pellet shots. Just spam the laser beam attack. That's all I did, and you can kill every enemy before they even get a shot off at you.
I forgot about the laser beam attack completely.
What is it with you and forgetting?
What is with you and forgetting fucking weapons? Were you playing Mass Effect around the same time?
You don't even have to try if you just spam the laser beam move. It's like it's using hyper.
You don't even have to try if you just spam the regular pellets either. It's not a hard enough section that you have to think about your weapons.
You opened up the TM. Gyarados would like to learn Bubble Beam. But Gyarados can only learn 4 moves. Would you like to forget a move in order to learn Bubble Beam? Yes. What move would you like to forget? Hyper Beam. What? Okay, sure.
No, I'll keep Splash. Yeah, but Bubble Beam gives me Stab.
Yeah, but Hyper Beam's a fucking laser, John. Shut up.
But Stab!
In any case, the one thing that you do need to remember during this fight in order to not die is that your hitbox is Lilac, not the dragon. So let the laser pellets just fly straight through the dragon. It's a hologram, you see. They remember that.
No, they're just big fans of Toho. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but there's a functional in-lore reason why the dragon can't take damage, of course.
So, this minigame is a lot more fun than the tank minigame you play when you're Carol or, I assume, Mila. I still haven't played her yet.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's not fun.
No, the tank sucks.
I mean, I appreciate them giving those two characters something different to do during this section, because that makes
also,
sense. Also,
is it just me, or does the soundtrack here sound like it's more designed to be like Mega Man X4 or 5 in terms of tone,
This is just the boss
this
theme.
is just the mini boss.
And-
yeah, I know. It just feels like it's changed slightly, but that may just be me reading into it.
If the other music were still playing, I might be able to listen. I might be able to hear what you're talking about, but I haven't also played X4 and X5, so
It's also probably just me just hearing it along with the standard pews that's changing it slightly for me mentally.
possibly.
Well, Mega Man X4 and X5 had like very techno-y soundtracks, didn't they?
Yeah, which is why it kind of sounds like it to me in that instance.
I also like how we just decide to get off the dragon for a level, but, you know, whatever. Who cares? It's a video
But
game.
also, should we say your health doesn't regenerate between the shoot 'em up section and the beginning of this stage, so...
No food or movies, I'm out of here. This flight's boring. I like running better.
You know, the game does keep track of a couple of things between stages, because at the beginning of the last part, Lewis had a shield that I assume he had at the end of the... Well, it actually might have come from a bonus stage. Never mind. But,
Yeah.
you know, the only other game that I can think of that doesn't actually refill your health between levels is Kirby, actually. It's just in most Kirby games, you'll end the level and then get free health anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Depends. Do you count the Mario power-up system as health in a sense?
You know, that's so... I mean, sort of, yeah. It's just, I usually consider that to be so different that it's never really that big of a deal.
It is technically your health, though, is the thing.
Yeah, okay, I guess that's a good point. Okay, fine, whatever. You win, Malice.
I finally got one.
Oh, Lewis has played enough Sonic to know that going down is bad.
The bottom path usually sucks, yes.
Is there any Sonic stage where the bottom path is just the better one?
There are some, yes.
Because
Yeah,
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
It's
anyway.
rare, but it happens from time to time.
Just to throw the experienced players off.
Yeah.
Oil Ocean Zone, actually.
Yeah.
I would say, because the higher you go, the more you have to deal with the fucking lifts, the seahorses, and the oil slides.
Which is not as big of a problem in Mania as it was in Sonic 2, because
I'm talking the original Sonic 2.
yeah, in Sonic Mania you have the elemental shields, which make the so cheap and nasty projectile enemies not so much of a problem anymore.
And Winning Fortress Zone. because clipping through the fan on the bottom route.
I don't think that really counts. That's like saying that Knuckles is the best character in Sonic Boom because he can fly. Like, I mean, I guess it's technically
it's
true,
Wrong.
but
Is it wrong?
I have a hard time counting it.
I guess Casinopolis and Adventure 1, because the bottom route is the sewer where you're supposed to get all the
Okay,
rings.
yeah, okay, that's
Yes,
true.
there you go.
That's just, well,
also-
that's not the most efficient route, that's just the most fun route. There's a difference.
It is the most efficient
That's the
route,
efficient
though,
route.
if you're bad at pinball.
But the pinball in Sonic Adventure, you can manipulate with the control stick. It's not like real there is pinball physics.
It still takes longer.
Yeah, and you can manipulate it, but it's not as controllable as, say, Sonic Spinball. So
yeah, but then again, Sonic Spinball also controls badly. So yeah.
you know, I'm dazzled that they managed to get pinball semi-right in Sonic Adventure way back on the Dreamcast, but they couldn't get it right in Sonic Heroes.
You hear that, Forces?
And they couldn't get it right in Forces, and they couldn't get it right in Sonic 4.
You know what, though? I still think even to this day, even though Forces had it bad, I still consider Heroes to have the worst.
Yeah.
The casino levels in Sonic Heroes make me want to punch things. They are...
Which is a shame, because I love the aesthetic of those stages so much.
You know, it's a casino level. It's certainly... Oh, those... Having to drop kick the drills into those blocks is not my favorite part of this level. Is there any way to skip it, or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So many damn drills.
They bring that back in Dreadnought, in Final Dreadnought, don't they?
Towards the end of the game, yeah. I want to say Final Dreadnought 2 or 3.
I like to think those things are just remnants of Metal Man stage.
Yeah, only instead of being things that you really like to see, because it's free health and weapon energy, they're really, really annoying.
It took them a couple centuries, millennia to get it right.
Dr. Wily just can't make good robots. Oh, wait, hold on, are we here? Oh, my god. This is where the bosses just stop being fun at all and become miserable. Like, this is the point in the game, like, where after this frickin' boss fight, you just are dreading every time you come up to a boss, because...
That was an accurate reenactment of my first encounter with this boss.
I think this guy took me at least a half an hour to beat on my first run.
Fuck those springs! Okay, so the ground
Yeah, the
is
springs
blue,
there just
and there are
fuck with me.
blue springs in the middle and sides.
Yeah, and you need the springs in order to dodge that, especially as Carol, because, like, you might be able to Dragon Dash out of the way as Lilac,
You can
but...
Dragon Dash through it as Lilac.
Yeah,
because
so...
of the invincibility frames.
Yeah,
Oh,
but you
fuck.
need to be standing next to a spring as Carol. And if you are actually managing to like keep in line with this pattern and like whack its glowing weak points as it goes, if you're on the far left or right side, it can go through the wall. Like if it does like this, yeah, and then you're just at mercy to its attacks while you can't even hit it. Ugh.
Yeah, and it's only with very strict and careful positioning that you can get it to stay in place as it hops, but good luck trying to figure that out.
Yeah, you're better off just chasing it and getting a few hits in as you go.
Yeah.
It's
You know what's worse? There's a second version of this boss.
Yeah,
that's
you fight the
harder.
stage
At least it doesn't have as much health in the
This
second
is the
form.
mid-stage boss, though.
Yeah, ugh.
Fuck!
Just exploded.
Oh, you double KO'd. Oh, that's terrible.
Unfortunately, it doesn't count.
So does the Dragon Dash do more damage than just whacking it? Because I would always try to go for Dragon Dashing. Well, I would try to start up a Dragon Dash more accurately on its weak point, because you do like a little spinny attack, and it feels like you get multiple hit sounds, so it feels like that should be doing more damage, even if it doesn't necessarily always.
I think the Dragon Dash does damage on every frame. The problem is this thing's hitbox is so small, you're not on it for very long.
Yeah, because you move too fast.
Yeah.
Like that spinny part at the spinny wind up at the beginning. I would try to hit the weak point while doing that and get a few hits in, but I don't know if that's actually more
The
effective.
wind-up does do damage.
I don't know if that's actually more effective or not.
I always wind up smacking into its face while it's shooting the lasers.
Yeah, because
Fuck those springs!
Maybe it's time to jump.
Bounce pad.
Who put those things there?
It's like this boss stage was built for me.
Said Brevon.
If they were only a different color, I could react to them. But when everything is moving so fast, the floor just blends together.
Oh, it's the second form that drops mooks, right?
Yeah, for health purposes.
Oh, yeah, but then you also have to deal with mooks.
I think. No. Actually, it doesn't drop off at all because it drops off after you finish it.
Yeah, because that's like phase 1 of the 4-part final area.
3-part, but yeah.
3-part. It's like... It's this thing, and then Serpentine, and then Brevon, isn't it, in the final area?
No. Well, it's... Oh, no. The final area is... No, Serpentine, I think, is Final Dreadnought 2.
I don't remember.
No
Who
matter
knows?
where I
Yeah,
am...
Final Dreadnought 1 is the robot. Final Dreadnought 2 is Serpentine.
Hey, I jumped
3
over the
is
springs
Mila.
that time.
And 4 is Brevon.
Just die, you stupid robot.
I mean, granted, you know, if all of Brevon's ships are like this, then it makes sense that we would be, like, in deep shit trying to fight him, you know? I mean, okay, there... Oh, you were really close on health, though.
That boss always gets me.
Oh,
Okay, having meteors there after you fit the boss is a dick move because I
Yeah,
don't know
you
if
can
there's a
get
checkpoint
pot shotted.
I
Yeah.
think the checkpoint might be, like, here, actually.
I just don't know if the checkpoint is after the boss is dead.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, completely dead because Lewis did have that double KO.
Yeah, some games, like, I believe some Mega Man games will specifically let you live on a double KO.
All the classics let you keep it.
Yeah, I believe Shovel Knight also lets you live on a double KO. Like, they will let you, like, you will go down to 0, and then after the boss does its death animation, you'll go back up to 1 health level in Shovel Knight. So... Oh. You see, it's so weird that Brevon has dragon barriers in his base.
It is kind of weird. It's kind of like, oh, did you know we're playing a video game?
This area is a bit of a labyrinth because you have to.
I don't see tons of water pits everywhere.
No. I said labyrinth, not labyrinth.
Several of the final stages really dispense with the Sonic structuring.
Honestly, I don't mind it, though, because I feel like it gives the game a little bit more identity that way than just being a Sonic clone. You know, granted, there are still very Sonic-inspired elements here, like these lifts, for example, I'm pretty sure are pulled from something. I don't remember what.
One of the things that kind of got me about Spark the Electric Jester was how long the game was, and how strictly it stuck to being Sonic with weird power-ups.
I've never played that, but from what I've heard, it's Sonic with Kirby power-ups, right? That's how it goes.
Somewhat, yeah. That's a good way to go. It's not as easy as it seems in the first few levels because, like, when I first started that game, I kind of got lost here. I'm sorry. When I first played that game, I was lulled into a false sense of security because I got the Knight's power-up and the Shadow the Hedgehog power-up really, really early on. And it basically breaks the first handful of levels into tiny little pieces.
Not as much as Gravity, I think was the name of the power-up, which just allows you to fucking fly.
Well, that's the Knight's power.
Yeah, well, okay, I thought I'm not sure if you were just talking about, that's what you name it, I just call it what it's actually called.
Yeah, Gravity and Edgy.
When you give nicknames to all your power-ups.
Gravity and Edgy, but, you know.
Wait, they call it Edgy? Like, it lets you shoot a gun?
Yeah, it's called, it gives you Shadow's color scheme, and it lets, I forgot the weapon for it. But,
I forget.
yeah, I forget the weapon, but it pretty much gives you Shadow's color scheme, and they call it.
To plug Johnny's shit again, he did a Let's Play of the game on SGB, so...
You're doing it too, Lewis.
It's a solid game, but one that needed to end a little sooner.
Yeah,
it's just a little too long.
I kind of felt like it could have sustained its length if it had more gameplay variety, but as it was, it tried to stick too close to being a Sonic game for too long.
Yeah. About how long do you think it overstayed its welcome in terms of like general time?
Easily like 5 stages.
Which is about how long time-wise?
The game is about, I want to say, 3.5, 4 hours long.
And that's...
Which is a lot for a classic Sonic-styled game. I mean, it's not Sonic from the get-go.
Well, you say that, but Sonic Mania just came out, and that game's like at least 4 hours long on a first run. So... Well, it took me that long, anyway.
Well, okay, then let's put it this way. It feels 4 hours.
Okay.
Let's put it that way, because
Gotcha.
sometimes the level design gets a little monotonous.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do agree with you that there's a difference between how long something actually is and how long it feels. That's a big discrepancy, and it's important. Because, you can have a game where, like, you can have, for example, like, for me, there are certain RPGs where I feel like I've only been playing for like an hour, and then I look at the clock, and it's like 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
So...
shit, I missed class.
Chrono Trigger, anyone?
Yeah, Sonic Mania had, like, way varied level design that really helped it in this regard, but Spark the Electric Jester had a lot of running around, and sometimes running around while trying to find where you're going. But I'm not trashing the
There's
game.
the klepto we all remember.
I'm not trashing the game. I just found it harder to sit through.
No, it's a solid game. It's a little long.
And that was only counting the Spark the Electric Jester part of Spark the Electric Jester. Aren't there other characters to play as?
Yeah,
too?
there's like 4 other characters I think in that game.
Does it
And
have
you have
a
to
plot?
like beat the first game to.
Yeah, it does have it has something of a plot.
Does
what
it
are
like...
the other characters? I never actually saw them.
One is the rival character that you face throughout the story that teams up with you at the end. Oh, spoiler. I don't care. But I have to think about the other ones because I have not played the game since the Let's Play. So
Maybe we'll get to it eventually.
If we really run out of stuff to do, sure.
Well, I think it's worth doing.
We'll decide it at a later date because we don't plan too far ahead.
Yeah, we don't plan... okay, let's put an asterisk there. We don't plan far enough ahead, actually, is probably the more accurate thing.
True.
Considering...
He's not wrong.
Considering how long it takes for us to get to certain things, how long certain things sit in the pile, and then...
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, we're kind of working on that with more, like, solo projects and that sort of shit. Oh, GeForce is telling me my Game Ready driver is available. Thank you. That's just covering up the entire video. Thank you very much. Prompt. I appreciate that.
So when I've been loading up Discord lately, it'll, for example, like I'll put up my on-screen keyboard at some points, and it'll be like, "Is this a game?" And I'm like, "No, on-screen keyboard is not a game." Discord.
John, NVIDIA just heard you plugging your shit and wanted in on some of that sweet BrainScratch
okay.
advertising action.
You're right.
Ah, yes.
Then gets immediately flagged for not being advertiser friendly. Oh, the tragic irony.
So you're saying that selling out is the true antithesis to capitalism, is what we learned today?
Right. May I spare a couple of minutes of your time to talk about Loot Crate?
Be prepared for our 24-hour Battlefront 2 streams all day, every day for the next 12 years.
Remember, if you donate, we can open a Loot Crate live on stream.
My brother, who pre-ordered the game, told me they actually delayed that game till Friday, so apparently, like, they're probably fixing the goddamn point system.
No, they're not. They're not.
I wouldn't give them the... I mean, that'd be nice, but I highly doubt it.
They're not.
There was also the thing about, is this true or not, that people weren't able to refund the game after a certain point?
They removed the refund option on their site. The only way you could refund a pre-order is if you had called them directly.
Oh, okay. And they were just hoping that people would think that's too much of a pain in the ass and wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not scummy at all.
Classic EA. Basically, the only money they get from me anymore is EA Access, and that's because, like, all of their good games are free on EA Access if you pay $5 a month. And by all of their good games, I mean the entire...
All their games.
The entire BioWare collection, all the Ultima games, and the Dead Space trilogy. Oh, and Mirror's Edge and Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
You want to know what I want from EA? A new SSX game. Because we haven't had one in, like, a really long time.
You can't put microtransactions in that kind of game, Ted.
You know what? They probably would put microtransactions in there. You know, but it would just be really, really funny because SSX is all about this, like, rebellious, oh man, we're so cool attitude.
Let's give our greedy game developers a bit more credit because Square somehow managed to put microtransactions in a fucking Deus Ex game. So, yeah, you can put microtransactions in anything these days. As long as you're fine with your fans hating you for it.
I just think that it would be really, really funny, you know, like, oh man, guys, we're just gonna go against the authority by doing all of our skateboarding tricks. Also, if you pay $5.99, you can unlock 10 new costumes. Radical! Oh man, I wish I was smart enough to think to do this, because these Brevon soldiers have like 50 million hit points, and it's obnoxious.
Yeah, they are.
I remember this exact room driving me nuts.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh yeah, they definitely get worse when you get later on in Final Dreadnought, where you're just are straight up not expected to fight them all. You just have to run. It's not worth... Well, actually...
When there's trouble, run.
It's not time for thinking, it's time for running.
If you have time to fight, run away.
You know...
Or something.
Sonic is not a very good role model, I just realized.
No, he's not. And friends probably took us this long to realize that. You know, he's actually a piece of shit.
Alright guys, we have to
Especially
work
in
together to
Chronicles.
rebuild this world. Except for me, I'm taking a nap.
Well, to be fair, he spent 6 months in a torture chamber. He deserves that nap.
He's not acting like he
Quote-unquote
spent
torture
6 months
chamber.
in a torture chamber.
I love this boss battle theme.
The Dale theme is good. You know, the thing is, though, is that while this fight is still hard, it's not anywhere close to as hard as the frickin' airship fight. So...
You know what I want to see? I want to see a Sonic Forces, like, a post-game comic based on the original First Blood novel.
Wait, First Blood was a novel
probably-
before it was a movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty goddamn brutal too. The Rambo movie. Well, I'm just gonna put up a card suggesting the Lost in Adaptation about it. Episode about it. I have read the book though. It's not that expensive on Kindle.
Are the sequels based off of books as well, or did they just...
No.
No.
Although the author did novelize them in an interesting way, but no, the sequels aren't based on the books.
Okay.
Did
There are no-
did
there are no great
did the later Rambo books just have entire pages of rat?
No, the later Rambo books are direct novelizations of the movie by the author.
That's what I'm saying. They're just full pages of rat or daka daka
You just
daka
stare
daka
at the
daka.
pages blankly, and then you mutter to yourself.
No,
"This is
I
a
haven't
New York
read
Times
the
bestseller."
I haven't read the later Rambo books, but apparently the author did some clever things in novelizing them, and they're quite different from the movies they're based on. But the original Rambo novel is a cautionary tale about two stubborn men. Teasel is not the flat, two-dimensional stereotype he is in the movie, and Rambo is a hell of a lot less sympathetic. So yeah.
Did Stallone direct and star in that, or did he just star?
I think he just starred in that one.
The first Rambo movie was well, a long production process hampered by a lot of politics because Vietnam War.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
American
no way to
audiences
not
did
do that.
want to get.
No, it was Ted Kotcheff that directed First Blood. So Stallone helped with the screenplay a bit, but that's about
Huh.
it.
Did
Anyway, the point I was making was I wanted to see a post-traumatic stress Sonic go berserk and start murdering people, just to get some payoff from that goddamn dialogue box. God damn it!
Man, and I thought I was the edgy one in this franchise.
No, Shadow would be
Are you
Teasel.
making fun of someone with PTSD? You're right, I'm an asshole.
Shadow would be Teasel.
I'm so sorry, Sonic.
Oh, so when I get a gun, it's out of character. But if Sonic gets a gun, it's an interesting development. I see how it is.
That's another thing about Teasel that I think the movie didn't mention, is that Teasel was also a soldier. He was just from a different war. So...
Was he a World War II soldier in the book?
Korean War.
Korean War, okay. I do like that they interrupt the end screen there.
Yeah. The stage complete signs from this point on, like, a few of the times they try to be victorious and, you know, get interrupted, but most of the time they're just really somber for reasons.
Spade! I hate to disappoint you, but I'm just passing through.
You're a dick, Spade.
I'm having a story mode of my own. It's the only way you're gonna find out what happens to Prince Dale. Be sure to buy it when it comes out. Wait, it's free? Well, then why am I here? I'm out.
I have no idea. Like, again, we talked about this a little bit before, but do you expect them to finish Freedom Planet 2 and then go back and finish the Freedom Planet 1 stories? Or...
Probably.
It'd be really weird if they did it that way.
Probably, but only because Freedom Planet 1 has stretch goals, and Freedom Planet 2 probably doesn't.
Yeah, like, okay, so here's the thing about Kickstarter projects, is that they're infamous for developers going way too far on stretch goals that they are not prepared to meet. And that's not saying anything about the developers. It's just, it's a lot easier in concept to say, oh, we'll add 3 new characters than it actually is in practice. So it's easy to overextend there. So
it's easy to overextend. I think what's going on right now is that, you know, like, they're focusing on Freedom Planet 2 because that's another game they can sell, and then once they've sold it and got money, they can focus some more time and effort on the stretch goals.
Yeah, because a lot of people who do Kickstarters for their first game and then end up being successful do not want to kickstart their second game, because not only is Kickstarter a massive pain in the ass to do, to run and fund and manage and all of that, but there's also, you can easily, like, you want to have stretch goals that seem appetizing. Appetizing's not the right word, but you know what I mean. But you you want stretch goals that seem worth going for, but you also want them to be realistic now that you have experience and you know, okay, maybe adding 5 extra playable characters is a little bit too much, you know? But you don't want to seem like you're less ambitious by not having as big of a goal.
There's a reason a Hat in Time's most ambitious stretch goal was, hey, we're gonna add extra levels, 2 extra levels, and maybe we'll get some music by the guy who did the Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack, which I think they did.
They got Grant Kirkhope to do music for...
Yeah, some of the music, not all of it.
Yeah,
just some of it.
Cool. Okay, I didn't know that.